What is up, everybody? Good to be with you. A little bit different tonight. We're doing a live episode of the podcast. I got some different things going on this week, just with um, family stuff. And plus with a quick turnaround of SEC tournament starting on Tuesday, wanted to jump on here and just kind of do something a little different, get some interaction going. I've been seeing a lot of what really made me want to get on here and do something like this was that I've seen a lot of going back and forth, not necessarily a bad thing, just since the game ended yesterday. A lot of talk about already going into next year and things about who's coming back and just a lot of different dialogue. So thought we would get in here and talk about some of the things that I care about a lot. So like I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way I was going to get on here and give you a rundown of who do we even play, dude? That's sad. Florida. And run through the Florida series and give you the stats and all of that. Like, who wants to hear that? Nobody wants to hear that, okay? So let's talk about some things I think that people actually care about. And based on what I've been seeing on Twitter, that's what I think we're going to do, all right? Now, first off, the season's not completely over yet. You got Tuesday night. You're going to Hoover. You're packing the troops up, and you're going to go try to see what you can do there. I've been saying for weeks that I think that LSU has a better chance of winning the SEC tournament than I thought that they would be able to get to, like the 13 conference wins that it would take to get an automatic bid. And the good thing about Hoover is, forget that mess you saw this weekend, because that was like a whole different vibe. It just didn't feel like we were in it. We're not even pitching our guys. It just felt weird. But if you go in Tuesday with William Schmidt and you're going to play an Oklahoma team that's beatable. I mean, you lost 2 games to them. Remember, these days you lost a game 4-2 and 3-2. And we were all complaining about the offense or the defense. We would love to go back to when our pitching staff held people to 3 runs and 4 runs. But anyway, you got Oklahoma. I don't love your game 2 against Auburn. But here's the thing. It's kind of like one of these deals where, like, if you can win your first game and you can win a second game or be competitive, nobody else you're going to play, really starting with Auburn, has a whole lot to play for. They just don't. And so if you remember the years that we were on top, the good old days, Paul Skeens wasn't pitching 6-7 innings. You treat it a lot different. And so, you get, into where you're playing, you win Tuesday, you play Wednesday, you win Wednesday, you play Friday. Friday. Then it gets a little bit weird because you're playing against guys that maybe are getting work for regionals and things like that. So, look, I'm not telling you that I think we're going to win the SEC tournament, but I think we will do a better job in the SEC tournament than we did down the stretch in conference play. Okay, so now the main thing that I'm seeing right now, everybody's talking about is now that the regular season is over, we're quickly going towards next year. And the biggest name, or when we start talking about next year and in the draft and who's coming back, is clearly Steven Milam. All right. So I want to talk about Steven Milam today. I want to talk about some other decisions that are going to be, had to make by guys, and just kind of tell you what my thoughts are, as well as I'm not just giving you like strictly my opinion. Okay. I'm basing this off of like real things. Now, I am not a big-time Baton Rouge journalist that gets inside scoop. I have some good relationships with the coaching staff. I kind of lucked out. If I'm being really honest, I think that people over time thanks to you guys for following the page, the Twitter page. But I think the name makes me sound like I'm official, like I'm actually really some important LSU account. And so people send me things, all right, and give me information and ask me to come watch them play, freshmen in high school watch. I'm like, dude, that's not what I do, all right? But I just like to talk about LSU. But anyway, where was I going? All right. Oh, so let's get back to this. As far as players coming back, I follow the draft, okay, like very closely. I'm historically, I love this stuff. So I'm not, when I say certain things, you're like, man, this goofball doesn't know what he's talking about. And I get it, okay? Because some of the, like, if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago anything about Milam, I would have told you the same thing I would tell you about anybody who's draft eligible. You do not go back to school when you're draft eligible. I don't care if you're a sophomore eligible or a junior, okay? There is just really not a lot of precedent for players being draft eligible, going back to school, and it working out better for them in the draft. So I will start by saying that I will always shoot down anytime, there's talk of like, man, I hope this guy comes back when he's a junior or like a Derek Curry out. Never. And that was always my stance with Milam, okay? However, I don't know if it was about 2 weeks ago, but I got an interesting message in my inbox, 2 of them, okay? And I do have some contacts that are really involved in like player development and scouting, and they make a living like reporting on the draft and predicting it. And that's what they do. And they're on TV when you're watching the draft. So like some people who really know what they're talking about. And I had made a comment about a guy that I thought would be great to get in the transfer portal to replace Milam. And I was told flat out, like, hey, yes, he's a good player, but he's virtually like Steven Milam 2.0, and everybody pretty much is thinking that Milam's coming back. And I was like, what? Hold on. What are you talking about? And that wasn't just like, again, like these are very small circles that a lot of these people run in, like when it comes to like these scouts and front offices, because these teams have tendencies of who they like to draft. They'll be vocal about where they see a certain player. That's why you get, like players ranked in a certain area of the draft. Okay. So I was told like, look, that's from the coaching staff. I thought that was a good chance. And then I got a message from somebody that would know way more than even them. Okay. And so, and I was like, dude, they like, I'm being told he's coming back. Now, in my mind, I'm going, I think this is not smart because like I said, I don't see how coming back is like it's a really good move for somebody like Steven Milam or somebody that's draft eligible. I don't. And so, I waited a couple of days. I followed up. I kept digging. And like, I kept hearing like, look, it's almost like assumed. And I'm like, I cannot believe this. So, I teased it. I put it out there in the pie. I said, look, guys, I think he's coming back. And I don't think he should, but that's what I'm hearing. And, logically, should somebody like that? No, not really. Okay. But I'm not just like throwing that out there. Like, I think that's just my gut, because I don't. My gut is that he's going to get drafted in the 4th or 5th round. Okay. And look, if you listen to Jay talk lately, Jay seems to think he's gone 100%. All right. But like, he also thought that about Braden Jobert after 2022. He thought that about Jared Jones after his sophomore year. He thought it about Chris Stanfield and Zach Collin last year. Jay watches these players and he loves them and he thinks they're great, and they are good. But like, that's just not, and I'm not saying he doesn't understand the draft, but like that's because he does, but that's just not really how things work, okay, to a certain extent. He said in his post-game presser that somebody is going to pay Steven Milam $2 million, okay? Now, for that to happen, I'm trying to give you a lot of good information because you're going to see a lot of things on Twitter over the next couple of weeks, okay, or the next week, whatever, a couple of days. So I want to give you some information that I think will be helpful for you. So for Steven Milam to get $2 million, that is a top, like within the top 50 picks in the Major League Baseball draft, which is middle of the second round, okay? There were only 4 college shortstops that got $2 million, like at least $2 million last year. You're talking about Arquette, the Oregon State, who was a freak, like 6'6". He was the 3rd pick in the draft. All right, Gavin Keelan, who killed us, the Tennessee shortstop. He was the 12th pick. Merrick Houston from Wake Forest went pick 16. And then Vahiva Aloy went pick 31. These are all first round, like the first 31 picks of the draft, okay? There were only an additional 3 college shortstops that got even over $1 million. You're talking about what's the guy? He played shortstop at Tennessee, then lost his job to Keelan. He moved over to second. Dean Curley. And there was just 2 more. So you're not talking about college shortstops like that. There's a lot of them that get that kind of money. Okay. So I know that Jay's pessimistic and, a lot's being made. And look, he may be right. Milam may not come back. I'm just trying to give you some information and let you know it is not a foregone conclusion at all. Okay. Pro teams care about different things than like just stats. Okay. So like I'm watching Steven Milam hit home runs left and right. And like your first reaction is like, dude, this dude's not coming back. Like he's gone. Right. But pro teams care about hit metrics like average exit velocity, your max exit velocity, your in zone contact rate, your physical projection, all of these things. That is why I love Steven Milam and he is a great college player. So this is nothing on him. But that is why, because of all those things I just mentioned, he is between a 4th and 7th round, like projection. Okay. That's what he is. All right. And he is what he is at this point. You've seen him for 3 years. He's been basically the same player every year, hovers around 300, right at double-digit home runs. But again, that's not – it's more like his exit velocities and like there's nothing that's going to change about Steven Milam coming back all of a sudden next year. He's not going to change his value in the draft. Like that's just not going to happen. Okay. And so I think they have a very good understanding of who he is right now and what he is. And like, that's why it's always better to sign when you have leverage, because I think right now, okay, as a junior, the highest I've seen Steven Milam is like pick 130. That's like round 4. You're talking about $585,000. And I'll tell you, if Steven Milam is drafted in the 4th round, he's probably going to go pro. Okay. But I've also seen Steven Milam as low as 233, which is 8th round. You're talking like 200K in that his average. So I have a spreadsheet. I don't know if I can show it. Let me see if I can without really messing up the whole thing. Let's see. All right. Let me see if I can show. Hopefully y'all can see this, okay? But like I use some of the big 3 services that have been doing this for a long time. They have people that are paid to project the draft. And so I've kind of color-coded our whole draft class. But it shoots out to me like an average projection, okay? So like right now, if you look at Steven Milam right here on this like row 28, you're talking about pick 174 is kind of his average projection right now, okay? And that's the 6th round, all right? So you are talking about, what was that? 300 and something $1,000, I think it was. All right, 6 rounds, something like that. So like that's right now where he is like averaging to fall. Could he go higher? Absolutely he could. Okay. But he's going to have a decision. So to just say, dude, Milam's gone. And you might be right. Milam's gone because he hit 300 and he hit 3 home runs this weekend. That's just like not how they see it. And honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but like Steven Milam projects as a second baseman in pro ball, not a shortstop. They care about his height. He's not going to develop physically. It's not like he's going to grow or that he's some, 6'4" that weighs 170 that's going to fill out. He is what he is, and we love him, and he's great. So I'm telling you reasons why this is not a foregone conclusion, okay? And I don't know how much. I know that tomorrow in Hoover, I know that Jay and them are going to see what they can do, what they can offer him, that they're going to look at where he's falling, like talk to people, like look at what is he looking like in the draft, and they're going to try to get him. They're going to try to get him, okay? So I hope that helps a little bit as far as like why I would ever say, man, like I think Steven Milam's coming back. And look, I don't feel great about it, but like if what I'm hearing, if they're just flat out wrong, then they're wrong. Like I can just go by like they aren't that wrong about a lot of things in the past over the years. So anyway, I trust who I'm hearing it from. Everything they say, I've double checked. Like before I came on, I sent another message. Hey, I know I'm aggravating you. You still feeling like this? So, so we'll see. We'll see. If he goes pro in a week, we find out, or well, actually we won't find out in a week. We'll find out like July 13th when the draft happens. Okay. Then you can, tag me and call me an idiot and all that good stuff. And I'll take it. Okay. All right. So, that's what it is about Steven Milam. And look, let me look at these comments, man. This is fun. Thank you guys for getting in here. Monster would be massive coming back. Randy Jones, dude, he would be the most massive part of next year's team. There is nothing that would be more massive than Steven Milam coming back for this LSU team. Okay. We have some really good shortstops coming in. But like, they're not most likely ready yet. And so getting him back would be just unbelievable. So yes, that would be absolutely massive, man. Don't let the Tigers get hot. I love it. I love it. I'll come back to a lot of these comments that are on other things. Colby Stringer, I'll talk about that. I think I got an interesting take on that one. So anyway, all right. So that's Milam. Okay, now, and if y'all got any questions about anything I just said, man, please drop it in because this is y'all's night, okay? I want to make sure this is good for you guys. But I did want to say this. To give you an idea, last year I told you about the amount of players in the draft, college shortstops that got $2 million. It's not a lot. How about this? So let's say Steven Milam does come back, and this is like one of those reasons why I don't think it makes sense. Last year, there were 4 senior shortstops, college seniors who went in the draft as shortstops. And so this is the difference. This is why you should go after junior year. Y'all remember Colby Shelton, right? He played at Alabama as a freshman and then at third baseman. Then he went to Florida and he played shortstop. So like he went in the 5th round last year. I'm sorry. That's he was a junior. That's a bad example. That was another. Cord Jackson, okay, went in the 5th round. He got $147,000. His pick value was $411. That's what they do to seniors. 6th round, Tyreek Kemp from Baylor, another senior sign. He got $147,000 in the 6th round when his slot value was $336. How about this? In the 9th round, Wallace Clark, Duke shortstop, he got $25,000. Matt King, Arizona State shortstop, he got $22,500. So like seniors do not get paid like they will get paid as juniors, okay? And so that's why this makes so little sense that we're even having this talk. But I will tell you that this new 5-for-5 rule has a lot of these players wondering, are they going to get a fifth year? And if they do, take a guy like Milam, that means he would not only have next year, another year. So they think he would have leverage, okay? So that's also in play here. All right. Now, let's move on to Jake Brown. Now, Jake Brown, if like Derek Curiel, there's like absolutely no shot he comes back, Jake Brown, I had right up there with him, okay? Until, again, I was told differently. And the way I'll put it is this, is I wouldn't close the door on Jake Brown yet. I know everybody in this chat could probably say, man, Jake Brown's gone. He's not coming back. And that's logical. That's what I would say too. That makes the most sense. However, Jake Brown's a different situation than Steven Milam. All right. Number one, this is the deepest college outfield draft class since 2022. There is a lot of talented college outfielders that are in this draft this year. Okay. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, Jake Brown I've seen Jake Brown anywhere from 45, pick 45 to 70. So you're talking second round to early third round. All right. With the average pick being around pick 54, that's $1.8 million. Now that doesn't make sense. Like, why would you ever come back? Okay. Based on everything I've already said about you should always go pro and he's falling, like on average around pick 54. But here's the deal. This is what I want you to hear. His camp thinks that he has first round potential. Okay. They believe that Jake Brown can be a first rounder and that, like hitting 222 in conference this year and struggling against breaking balls, that he can do better than that. And that hurt him. Okay. And so this is another situation where like this 5-5, where you get 5 years to play 5 seasons, is a big influencer right now. And it sounds like it's coming down the pipe. We don't know all the specifics, but what I'm hearing is that if Jake Brown falls like the end of the second round, like to early third round, you start getting to a slot value that's like around $1 million, 1.2. Again, I just told you, they think he can be a first rounder. The last pick in the first round this year, it goes up every year, is like $3.5 million. So if this is a guy who honestly thinks he can get a fifth year, a 5-5, that he can get in the top 30 something picks, and this year he's fallen down to the $1 million range, that's why when I tell you the door is not completely closed, I didn't just make all those things up, okay? Is it likely? No. Would I count on it? No. But is it just accepted that Jake Brown is out of here? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, could somebody draft him with pick 80 and give him $2 million? Sure. They can go over slot if they save money on their earlier pick. Sure. However, to just assume like he is 100% gone, it's just not the case. I don't feel as good about that one, okay? However, once again, tomorrow they're gonna try to see what they can do for both players, Steven Milam and Jake Brown. So, any questions? Anybody got anything on those two guys? I know that sounds crazy. And again, man, I try not to let myself get too like excited, like thinking, hey man, if we got those two guys back, but you know what? Why not? We've had a miserable year. Why can't we get a little bit excited, But like, again, I'm not going to dream on that, but that's what people think. And I keep asking questions, man, are you sure? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. And I'm being told, listen, man, and Jake Brown and Steven Milam, they love LSU. Do you think they feel good about the way that this year is going? You think they want to go out like that? If they won a national championship this year, I don't think if we were in this, everything was still equal, why would they come back? Okay. However, with the year that we've seen, I just, there's a lot of things that are kind of falling my way. So hopefully all that makes sense to you guys. All right. We're going to go on to another topic. I know everybody is feeling good about Nate Yeskie, right? So we all want to talk about Nate Yeskie. And I got to be honest with you, man. I'm just like, I'm not a football guy. I don't like football. I'm going to tell you why. It turns me off the way that if your team loses 2 games in the first month, everybody wants to fire the coach. Forget the players. They want to fire the coach. And I don't like that. And I'm not just talking about LSU. I'm talking about like everybody, okay? I don't like that. So I always give the players the benefit of the doubt. I think that they're the ones that are on the field. However, like, you remember how we got to a point with Matt House that it was so bad that like there was just no way? Now, Nate Yeskie has so much like street cred built up. He's done so many great things. But like this year is so bad. And I don't think that it's like Jay is going, hey, man, this doesn't look good. Like the fan base isn't behind Nate Yeskie. I think it's gotten so bad where maybe he's like, hey, man, is there a better way we can do this? So, I would have told you like 4 days ago, man, look, Nate Yeskie's coming back, and I'm not trying to predict what he's doing. I'm just saying, I think there might be like, I don't know that it's off the table, man, that we could see something different. However, with that being said, I do not blame just Nate Yeskie. But there are some things that are consistent, okay? So I looked at the last few years. In 2020, Nate Yeskie was at Texas A&M in 2022 and 2023. He came over to LSU, and he's been here 3 years. So I've seen good. So, like, he was second in the SEC last year in ERA. He was 5th in 2024. We know it's bad. It's last this year. But, like, you look at that. You look at the opponent batting average. 2024, LSU's pitching had the 3rd best opponent batting average. Last year, you were tied for 1st. This year, you're middle of the pack. You're 8th. Okay, so like there's some things like we've seen good and we've seen not so good. All right, but there's a couple of things that are consistent. And like every year, okay, 2024, you were 11th in walks. I'm pretty sure in 2024, Texas and Oklahoma weren't in the SEC. So there was 14 teams. So you were the 11th out of 14 teams as far as how many walks your pitchers gave up. Last year, you won the national championship. And in the SEC, you were 14th. You walked. There's only 2 teams who walked more batters than you. This year, 16th. Okay? Wild pitches. You were 14 out of 14 in 24. You were 16th out of 16 in most wild pitches in 2025. And then you're 16th this year. So, like, you're walking a lot of people and you are hitting people and you're throwing too many wild pitches, okay? So those are some things that are kind of making me scratch my head. And if you ask me, I would be perfectly okay being 9th in the league in strikeouts. I don't care about strikeouts because I think that actually is one of the reasons that hurts us, okay? It's because we're not able to go deep in games because we're throwing our out pitches way too often, way too early in counts. When you do play good hitters, you can't put them away because you're showing them your best stuff early in the count, and then you can't come back and get them with anything. But we're throwing a million pitches. That leads to the wild pitches and the walks. And it's like I would be perfectly fine pitching more to contact. And I think that is something actually, when we talk about this off season, all right, and I think Stan, you just asked a question about it, okay? Like, what do we do about pitching this summer, this off season, okay? And one of the things that I think is important, there's a couple. You have to have major developmental changes, okay? And one of them, this is very specific, okay? We need to learn how to throw a two-seam fastball. Nobody except for Connor Binge, Paz at times. I'm trying to think. There's not many. There's just not many that have a lot of run, like arm side run on the fastball. Everybody's throwing these hard four-seam fastballs. And like, what do we keep seeing? We keep seeing pitches get belted over the fence that are right down the middle, that aren't getting swing and miss because they're not running. We have to develop two-seam fastballs. I honestly think, I used to say this in 2024. Remember Will Helmers? Before we ever saw him against North Carolina, I said, dude, I would put him out there on the mound and let him throw all fastballs to right-handed hitters and let the ball just run in on the hands. And North Carolina was a perfect execution of that. They couldn't hit him because his ball runs. We have gotten away from that. Nobody's got movement on the ball anymore. Everything is just like really, really flat. LaCobra's got eligibility. I like to hear that, man. But we need movement. The other thing is command, okay? Stan, I think you just brought that up. You said, let me find your comment. Yes, they're afraid to throw fastballs, but I don't think it's because of command issues. That's part of it. I think that's a mindset. I think we're scared as a pitching staff. It's not a priority. All right. I think that we're scared it's going to get hit because it's flat, but it's also the other biggest thing we have to do in development is command. Okay. There's a difference between control and command. Control is like not walking guys. All right. Can you throw a strike when it's 1-1 in the count? Can you throw a fastball at the plate? Command, you know how when we watch other pitchers shut our team down and it seems like every pitch is on the outside corner and we can't get a good swing at it, or, the ball's with 2 strikes right at the top of the zone, like above, and we're chasing it, or it's in on our hands. That is command. And we need to learn how to command the ball. Because here's the thing. If you can throw a fastball on the outside, say it's a right-handed batter. Let's say you can throw a fastball on the outside corner, 0-0 count, first pitch fastball, outside corner, you dot the black, okay? You might say that's hard. It is hard. But, dude, this is the LSU. These are SEC pitchers that want to go pro. You got to be able to command, okay? I threw 87 miles an hour, like more like 85, 86. But, like, I could throw the ball where I wanted to throw it, okay? That's how I went to college. I had no arm. I had a good curveball, but, like, it's also why I couldn't lift my arm for a week after that's a different story. But, like, say you throw that first pitch on the outside corner, and then you come in with a two-seamer and you can command it on the inside. That is like having 2 completely different pitches, all right? And it is. And look, even if you don't throw a two-seamer, let's just say you got one fastball, it's a 4-seamer, but you can command it on the outside corner and you can come in on the hands to a right-handed batter. That is 2 pitches. That is 2 different pitches that are changing the eye level. The problem right now is when we throw a fastball, it's like, hey, let's just get a strike right now. And it's getting just skull dragged over the fence or, hit 108 miles per hour. So, like, we have to develop movement on our pitches. We have to develop command. And the other thing is, like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, I feel like we don't have the same type of arms, like the big velocity that we had last year. I mean, Sharon's our hardest thrower at 97, I think. And I get that. That sounds spoiled. But it's not just about how hard can you throw what can you hit. I look at a guy like Kason Evans, and I like Kason Evans, so I will never dog him because I really like him, and I think he's going to be really good. But like he would be up to 99 at times last year, 97, 97, 98, 96, 90. And there's times now where it's 93. And you might say, well, he's a starter now. I get it. But that's why we have to get we got to do whatever we got to do, man, from a development standpoint to get these guys where they can last longer in games and they can hold their velocity longer. So like that's my three big things as far as the pitching staff is like developing movement on the fastball. And do you realize that everything I just said, I'm just hearing it, none of them have to do with a breaking ball. None of them have to do with a changeup. I just want our fastballs to move. I want to be able to command our pitches, and I want to be able to throw 102. All right. That would be nice. Okay. But in all seriousness, it's important. When you go from throwing 97 and now in the third inning, you're throwing 92, 93, you cannot get that fastball by these guys. You're having to go change up, slider. And it's just not, it's not a good deal. Okay. So we've been on pitching. I've heard a lot about like, do we need to overhaul the pitching staff? Let me go through some numbers for you. Okay. Y'all can hire Jason Kelly from A&M when we fire him, man. We've been there, done that in 2022. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I don't feel real confidence inspired with Jason Kelly, but anyway. All right, so let me give you some numbers. We're talking about what do we need to do with the pitching staff. By the way, thank y'all. There's like 50 people in here, and like that's a lot. Like 51. Thank y'all. And I know people will watch this after the fact, but right when I said that, 2 people dropped off. Forget you, man. But anyway, I appreciate it. But when we look at the pitching staff, here's what we got. You've got 16 returning pitchers with eligibility. Okay. You have 12 pitchers coming in the freshman class. That is 28. This year you carry 20 arms, 20 pitchers, which is probably about right what you need to have. Now, I can tell you that you are going to lose a minimum of 4 pitchers from the high school class. Okay. You're going to lose 4. You're going to lose Sheeran, no doubt. Devin Sheeran's going to go in. He's going to be one of the first relievers drafted. I think you're going to lose Santi Garcia. That might surprise you guys, but I think somebody is going to draft Santi Garcia because I know you didn't see it a lot this year, which is such a big problem of mine, but he's got a very good fastball that explodes and carries high in the zone. He never throws it. And then you know what kind of curveball he's got, okay? So he's got a good curveball. But, like, I think those 2 guys are going to be gone, okay? So that would leave you with 22, all right? If you started with 28, you lose 4 in the high school, and then I think that you are going to definitely lose 2 on the roster. That's 22. I mean, you have to go out and get portal arms. Even if it's 3 or 4, is there any of you guys who don't think we need to get anybody in the portal to pitch? I mean, I think we should probably go get like experienced starters, to be honest with you. Not that I don't like ours, but we need to get some competition. All right. We have to go get portal guys. And we're at 22. You're going to have to go get 3 or 4 arms in the portal. So that would put 26. That means you are going to have some tough conversations with guys that are expecting to be on this LSU roster. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here and start naming names of guys that, probably should move on somewhere else because I don't like to do that. But you're free to do that. Now, you probably have your ideas, okay? But, like, you can't afford to carry a bunch of guys who not only did they regress, but they're just like unpitchable. Like you can't put them in the game and you cannot do that. This is LSU, man. Like you can get, maybe not all 20 are going to be elite, but man, you should be able to get 15 pitchers and maybe a couple of those are a year in development, but it should not be like this. Okay. So you are going to have to, there are going to be guys, whether they're in the freshman class right now and are going to have to be told, look, man, maybe you should go somewhere else. I don't even know if you can do that, but sometimes it happens after fall and even going into it. And there's players on this team that are going to have to hit the portal in order for you to be able to get this pitching staff back in the right spot. Do you realize, listen to this, we had one pitcher this year with an ERA under 4. Anybody know who that would be? You got one pitcher on this pitching staff with an ERA under 4.00. And that is Cooper Moore, the guy who's been hurt half the season. Okay, so who didn't, I mean, nothing against him, but like Fontenot stand was right over 4. He was right past it. Like he's like the second lowest, Fontenot is, as a matter of fact. And then Schmidt at 4.22. But Cooper Moore never even, like, he didn't face, I don't think, like he did, I definitely didn't pitch Tennessee. And then anybody after that, I don't know that he pitched against Kentucky or maybe, but anyway, my point is that he's the only guy you had. Now check this out. Last year, you had 6 pitchers under a 4 ERA. 2024, 7. So you went from 7 to 6. And sometimes you might have a guy who only threw 5 innings in his ERA, but still, 7, 6 to 1, man, you have to have some tough conversations with this pitching staff this year. Like you're going to have to do it. Okay. You're going to have to do it. And I don't like that, you know what I mean? But like, look, man, you know, you've got guys on this staff that were good recruits and that are out there throwing 91 mile per hour fastballs. Like, you know, like it's just, and it's not that velocity is everything, but you're going to have to make some changes if you, you know, if you're going to go forward, man, if we're going to be the type of team that we want to be this year. You know what I haven't talked about a lot? Like our offense, because I like it. I think that we have a very good, solid nucleus coming back. Yes, our defense wasn't great, but guess what? A lot of that was playing a lot of these older transfers. And we all saw the defense get better once we went to a bunch of guys that are going to most likely be back next year. Braun, Ruckert. I'm not giving up, by the way, on John Pearson. I think John Pearson can really hit. And I'm going to give you a nugget. Do y'all remember Tommy White's third base play in 2023? He committed 15 errors. There was nothing about his defense in 2023 that made us believe he was going to be much better in 2024. Okay. So yeah, in kind of like coming in and out of the lineup, Pearson wasn't great on at third base this year, but who's to say he can't work really hard at it this offseason and improve? I mean, I like his bat. Like he's hit good pitching. Like he's not just beating up on midweek guys. He's hitting really good pitching. And so this core is just really good, man. I like this core. So I think we'll get better in defense. And look, we got a long way to go. We're going to really get into a lot of the draft stuff in the coming days. Like when this season, if they would lose Tuesday night, like this baseball isn't over for me. You know, you're welcome to join me throughout the summer because it's going to be fun and it's going to be wild. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Mason Braun just got invited to play in the Cape Cod League, which is like the premier wood bat league. So it's going to be fun following him. And I'm sure there'll be other players doing the same thing. All right. Let's get to some comments. Let's see what we got here. Are we live? Yeah, man, we're live, man. We are live. Let's do it live. Don't let the Tigers get hot, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Don't mess around and win Tuesday and let me start thinking we're going to win the whole dang thing, man. All right. Don't do that to me. All right. There's probably two schools of thoughts. Like some of you probably wonder, actually, I don't think any of y'all think this, but like my brother-in-law is of the opinion, like, look, let's just lose. Let's just get to next season. I don't want to see any more of this. I don't want to get my feelings like hurt and get my hopes up. I'm sorry, man. I kind of still want to win. That's just me. Yeah, Jake Brown is a first round talent, man. I'm with you. He's got to hit the ball harder. Like his exit velocities have to be harder to get in the first round. But yeah, man, he's special. He's good. But there is no guarantee next season will rebound. No, there is no guarantee next year we will rebound, but like I don't have any. I think so many things went bad this year. Like I think if you redid this year 10 times, I think you might have like one of these years, maybe twice. I think so many things went wrong, How do I feel about Oklahoma Tuesday? I think they're coming on, man. They're starting to hit the ball. They've got two offensive players that are catchers. One of them like DHs. One of them can play everywhere. Brandon Brock. That in JUCO last year hit 20 home runs. Well, Brock's been good all year. Well, Dayton LaChance is huge, okay? Huge. I think he's hit like 12 home runs in the last 20 games. So like they've got some power and they're starting to come on, man. They're starting to hit the ball. I don't love their pitching staff though. And so like if there's anything that we can exploit for sure, like we can hit good pitching. And so I think it just might be one of those games, man, where it's like we're going to score 8. Let's hope they don't score 11. All right. But anyway, but look, yeah, we can win. We can win and go on a run. Hopefully I'd love to just win one and then have some hope for the next one. And we'll deal with Auburn. I don't really like playing Auburn, man. They are pretty dang good. How does William Schmidt reduce his pitch count? Okay, this is very easy, man. This is one of the things I talk about that I scream about because we don't throw fastballs. You'll notice sometimes when he has a great inning, like he's throwing the fastball, like in on the hands, and he's getting a weak grounder to the second baseman, or he's getting ahead of the count, and then he drops that hammer and he gets a strikeout. Like, I don't know if y'all want to hear something crazy. Y'all listen to this. If you didn't hear me say this already, I want you to listen to this stat. William Schmidt's last start, he threw 96 pitches. 32 of them were fastballs. What are we talking about? 32 fastballs out of 96? That's somewhere like around like 37%. I mean, and that's why the pitch counts are so high. That's why he can't go past the 4th inning. And that's why our bullpen gets exposed. Not just him, but our starters in general. So like we have to prioritize throwing fastballs, man. It's just so important. Yeah, man, I know, is that Oppenheimer, York, Caraway, Simpson, man, I know they haven't had good years and I feel bad for them because do you know that everybody wanted those guys? They're not, it's not like they've never hit. They've hit multiple years. And so it's just like all of a sudden this year, man, I think it's such a confidence thing. You look at Zach York. He is not that bad of a hitter to where every bat he goes up there and he's not even close. All right. But he's pressing. He's so mental, man. And a lot of this, that's how it goes. It's so much about confidence, whether you're on the mound or you're in the batter's box. But yeah, those guys had bad years. But like, I don't put that all on Jay. Like everybody, hey, he missed in the portal. Yeah, he missed. But guess what? Everybody missed. Everybody thought those guys. I think we had like one of the top transfer portal classes. I think what he did wrong, which he admitted, is he tried to get all of the same type of player out the portal. He didn't bring in any athletic infielders. They were all hit first, no defense, not hitterish. I would love to see us going back to like, I like the hitters like Derek Curiel, Mason Braun, like very hitterish, man. Josh Pearson. I love those type of hitters. that can just slap it to the opposite field. And they can still hit with some power as they come into this. Jack Ruckert, I really like him. I'd love to see us get back to more of that. All right, we got some comments. Yep, bullpen walks have. Mikey Ryan did kill it, but Mikey Ryan got Wally pipped, man. He's not playing right now. He got hurt, and they've got a dude behind him, not Serrano. What's his name? He's like a 6'4" freshman that is going off right now at NC State. But yeah, Mikey Ryan's had a good year. I've heard people talk about like Ryan Costello. Ryan Costello hit like 210 in the Big Ten. So like I don't. That's not a good league. So I know he had some home runs, but like he wouldn't have played for us. I mean, even like Larson wasn't going to play over our outfielders. Mikey Ryan's a guy that would have helped us. Okay. But guess what? That's how it goes sometimes. I mean, these guys don't want to stay. They want to leave and go play somewhere. So you can't keep them all. Portal, shortstop, or Jack Ruckert? That's a good question. I like Jack Ruckert at second base. I just do. I think I like him there. I'm not saying he can't be. If Milam leaves, I'd go get the shortstop from California Baptist. There's a guy who played for Texas State that is really, really, really good. What's his name? You can find it. It's on the tip of my tongue that he left the team. I would go get a guy in the portal for maybe a year if you can get it for 2 until maybe one of these other guys can move into shortstop. So Ethan Claus likely start at shortstop. No, man, I don't think your start, unless it's Milam, I don't think your starting shortstop is on this roster right now. What are my thoughts on Jay Johnson staying more than 3 or 5 years? I have an itch thinking he might not be here too much longer because he loves it. No, man, I think that he thinks LSU. I don't think that's a bad question. You might be right. I think he believes that LSU is the Mecca, and that there's no other better job. I think that. Well, let me say this: we missed guys in the portal this year. Okay, we did. We missed on Henry Ford. We missed on Jared Advincula, Georgia Tech. We missed on guys like the ace at Georgia. What's the guy's name, man? I talk about him all the time. The ace at Georgia. We just saw him. We were after him. We missed on him. We didn't get him. We're missing on too many guys. And is that because of money? So if that happens, that might be a situation where it's like, man, I don't like the way things going. I'm going to go somewhere, maybe, but like, I think we're going to get that right. I really do. Yeah. Volchko, Stan, you got it, man. Volchko, dude, freaking 6.7 ERA his whole career. And this year, Georgia literally, I think me and you were talking about the Stan. Georgia hit on everybody. We can't hit on anybody. How y'all loving the term hitterish? That's what us old heads used to call a pure hitter. You're dang right, Randy. Hitterish, man. That's what I like too. But yeah, we'll see about Jay, man. I think Jay is Jay. It is so painful, man, what he's going through right now. He hates this. Okay. It is so helpless as a fan, and I know it must be for him. You got to realize, man, Jay Johnson's been hearing how great he is for the last couple of years, the greatest coach in college baseball. And, like, I don't care who you are, that's got to get to you, man. And, like, you feel like, man, I'm pretty good. And now we got swept 5 times, man. Like, that's not okay. And so very, very humbling. And he's not going to be okay with that. So, like, I just think everything just kind of went wrong for us this year, man. And I don't know. I think that he loves Skip Berkman. Like, I don't know. I don't see Jay leaving. And I'm going to be honest with you, it ain't looking too good for Tony V. Tony V might be back before we know it, man. So, yeah, I really like the big outfielder at A&M. Dude, he is a unit, man. That guy is Jorian Wilson. Yeah, he's good. Hey, I'll tell you this. We have an elite outfield class coming in from high school right now. This year, you've got 4 guys that are all in like, whether you're talking about draft or like perfect game, they're all really high, but like all of them can get to campus. Now, in 2027, I know we'll worry out there, but like you talk about like Jordan Griffin from Barb. Remember Brad Harp, who played at LSU, his son Drake, Jacob Seaman, those dudes. The 2027 outfield class is even more ridiculous, but I don't know how many of those guys we get to school. But this outfield class we got coming in, we've got a very good class coming in because it's big. And so even though you're going to lose some, one thing I'll share with you is I had an account that's like Northern California, like they're one of these big, I don't know if it's a travel circuit type of team, but they messaged me and they told me like, we y'all go look this up. We've got a right-handed pitcher in our class named Jensen Hirschkorn, dynamite basketball player in California. Last year as a junior, man, he was throwing like 95. They thought he was going to be throwing 98. He's going to throw 99, 100 at some point. But he had a basketball injury and he kind of was late. And this year he's like 93, 94. He's going to get back up there, okay? But like in most mock drafts, he's anywhere between like pick 28 to pick 55. I was told, man, like, now that is a perfect example. If that dude goes 44, he can 100% come to school. You might say, that's stupid. He's going to be a late first, early second rounder. He can come to school and be the 5th pick in the draft in 3 years, okay? So, Jensen Hirschkorn, because I had this question asked to me, is there a guy that, it's kind of like it's not expected that you're going to get, but that maybe you make a push to get in the recruiting class? And Jensen Hirschkorn, you just go look at the ratings. You'll be like, dude, Jason's drinking. I don't even drink, but Jason's drinking again because he's ranked so high and he's 6'7". But that's what I'm being told. He didn't take the jump, and right-handed pitchers get through the draft sometimes. Look at William Schmidt. So, yeah, Eric, you remember Brad Hop, king of the doubles, man. Yep. And his son is really good. Do you think Jordan Griffin from Barb makes it to campus? He's like the number 5 perfect game. I'll drop this nugget on you. This summer, you start getting to like in the weeks after the season, like around the draft, like maybe mid-July and into August, you'll start seeing all these All-American games, all these big-time like East Coast Pro, all these the best players in high school that'll be playing. And they'll play at like Major League stadiums. And a lot of the games will be on TV, as a matter of fact. And you can watch them, or they'll be on YouTube. So like all these players that are coming into our class next fall, I was watching them last summer a little bit, not this time, but like in a few, a month or so. So you'll be able to watch those guys perform. And by the way, I'll give you something else. If you go to my Twitter page and you go to my list, I actually have a list for every recruit in the 2025 class, 2026 and 2027. So you can go look at my list. You can follow it. And anytime anybody of those players post or somebody tags them, you'll see it and you can keep up with the high school players. Oh, I want to touch on something. Somebody asked me about this guy, Colby Stringer. He is the right-handed pitcher out of West Marion in Mississippi. Y'all familiar with who I'm talking about right now? He just committed like a couple of weeks ago. It's really interesting because I'm hearing like some of the like local Baton Rouge people talk about he's like the next ace. He's like a future, stud. Dude, nobody heard of, like, I've talked to people that do this for a living and nobody's really heard of him. And so somebody asked me about him. I don't think this guy is at all a draft risk. And he played at a small school and he might be good, but like, Somebody the other day said that somebody told me that heard somebody on YouTube say he's like more advanced than William Schmidt was. No, he's not, dude. No, he's not. And I'm not trying to talk bad about him. I'm glad I want him to come. He's going to be great. But he was not involved in any of like the travel scene, playing against the best competition, coming up from the age of 15 all the way up. And he's playing at a small school. And it's like, he's all of a sudden going from like unknown to now you're seeing him in like some projections for like the draft. But a lot of people still don't know quite what to make of him. But yeah, somebody asked me about him. Like, I didn't really make a big deal out of him because I'm not going to come out and say, I don't think this guy's what everybody's saying. So I just don't say anything. But, look, maybe I'm wrong. Do you think Yeski is retained? We talked about this, Enoch. I don't know. Probably, but like, this has been pretty bad, man. So I'm not real sure. So I think so, though. I think so. I think we're just going to do things a lot different. There was like last summer, there was guys like Cooper Williams didn't go play. He didn't go pitch any innings. He just went and trained. You had some guys like that. And so I think that they're going to look at how they handled a lot of the pitchers and going forward and maybe see, if they can do anything different. So, Randy, what is that? I watched the episode on Stringer. It was Seeker. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Where does Ethan Claus fit in? Man, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where typically, not always, but typically, if a guy is going to be a player, you usually see some flashes fresh as a freshman. I'm not saying he can't, but like Jake Brown started in Chapel Hill as a freshman. Steven Milam played as a freshman. Ashton Larson played as a freshman. Jack Rucker's playing. Look at all the guys this year. Derek Curiel, obviously, so, and I'm talking about position players. A lot of times, like if they can't contribute a lot, it's rare that like the next year they're all of a sudden a starter. If that makes any sense. How many high school guys have little to no chance of making it to campus? All right, I'm going to show you my spreadsheet again, okay? All right, so I have this color coded. Here is the entire recruiting class. If they're in red, I don't think that they're getting to school, okay? Now, one of these is the guy I just talked about, Hirschkorn. I'm just being told like something, but like I don't expect him to, okay? Logan Schmidt, forget the name. He's a left-handed pitcher out of California. He throws 96. He's not coming. You are never going to see left-handed pitchers that, like, look at the column H right here. MLB Pipeline has him 34. No left-handed pitcher that MLB Pipeline has in like the top 50 is making, like even the top 100 is making it to school for the most part. Okay. Lucas Naraki. I talked about this guy a couple of weeks ago and said how I thought that as a left-handed pitcher, because he's 5'11", he's got the best slider in the class. Okay. He wants to sign pro, and I'm hearing that he's going to sign as an outfielder, that he is that good as a hitter. And so I'm like, dude, I was just 2 weeks ago talking about we got a shot to get him as a pitcher, and now I'm hearing we got no chance because he's such a good hitter. So Logan Schmidt, Hirschkorn, Orange is the guys that are going to be very tough. Like, we're going to sweat them, okay? And it's all of the outfielders for the most part. If they're in green, I feel like we're going to get those guys. And if you look at how many guys we've got in green. Okay, yellow is like I think we're going to get them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go the other way because they have traits that pro teams like. Okay, but like I don't have a lot of red. So if you just count red and orange, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 24 that I would lean it's a better chance they go pro. But look, that still leaves us with 15. Like, we're going to have a really good class. I don't even know how we can take in 15 freshmen and go in the portal. Like, I don't know how you do that. So, but hopefully that answers your question on that. What we got? What else we got, man? We got 64 people in here, guys. Thank y'all. How do you think our power production will be in 27? I like it, man, because you got Cerna, you got Aaron Beatty. Those are double-digit homer guys. Those are like 20 homer guys, okay? I think Pearson can hit 13, 14, 15 home runs. So I like those guys in the lineup. I don't know about Braun. I like him as a hitter. I think he's like a John. I really think he's like a Josh Pearson, but better, like hit for better average, but just hit it where it's pitched. He's got enough power to, I think Pearson hit 9 home runs as a freshman, and I think Braun's going to finish with just a handful maybe, but that's perfectly fine. What do the color codes refer to? Randy, the color codes, the red is I don't think they're going to make it to campus. Orange is they're more likely to make it to go pro. Yellow is 50-50, and green is I think they're going to make it to campus. Yes, very few Louisiana recruits on the list in 2026. But guess what, man? 2027 is old school LSU. There are a ton of LSU commits. Louisiana commits in 2027. So this is a heavy like California, Texas, Florida. But look, man, you got to go get the best players. What's very different about this class compared to last class, you had a bunch of guys like ranked in the top 20 in perfect game, like the best high school players. And then after that, you got a lot of the other guys that were more in the 150s and down. But like this year, you've got a lot more variety. You've recruited those guys at the very top, but then you've got a lot of guys in that range that's like, 50 to 110, so like really good players that you got a good shot at getting. So you got a good variety, man. Really good. Oh, dude. Romero from Hahnville in 2027 is a stud. I think he's more of a hitter. He's a pitcher right now. He's throwing good in the 90s, but I think he's going to be more of a hitter at LSU. But yeah, man, he's a stud. He is a stud. Who do you think makes the biggest jumps at the plate next year? Dude, that's a good question. All right. Dude, I think it's Pearson. I think it's John Pearson. I do. Y'all see him hit that backside double the other day? Y'all see that home run he hit at Georgia on a pitch that was like at his ankles? I mean, dude, he is like, he's swinging the bat, man. I think Pearson is going to take a big jump. I expect Braun to do more of the same, and I like Ruckert a lot, man. The one guy that is the wild card for me, he's so raw and so talented, and I wish we were seeing him play right now, okay, is William Patrick. Because I think he's every bit as good right now. Well, I was going to say is where Jake Brown was as a freshman, but Jake Brown hit a home run in Chapel Hill. Like, I don't know that I would have seen, but maybe the power is different. But, like, Patrick got some good hits in SEC play. So, Charlie Boy, you in the Pearson camp? Yes. Enoch, he has to be more patient. You're right. He kind of chases some from time to time, especially elevated fastballs. But, you're right. Has to be more patient. But yeah, as far as like guys making a big jump, I would say Pearson. I think Patrick's a wild card. We're going to have guys that come in from either the portal or freshman class that are going to make impact next year. I think that you have so many good freshmen. This is going to be a freshman class unlike any we've seen because it's just the volume. And I love how many, like, we've got 5 outfielders. We've got 3. Oh, my gosh, hold on. I got to tell you about one of my favorite players, okay? Jeez, missed too many. I'll give you two. Listen to me. There is a dude out of, is it Elk Grove, California? His name's Dylan Minity. Dude, he is the next Trey Morgan. Left-handed, hitting first baseman. Usually first basemen are big power hitters, okay? At LSU, it's not been that way. When you look at Trey Morgan, you look at Mason Braun. I don't know if Braun will play first base next year, maybe play outfield. But, dude, Dylan Minity is probably going to get to campus, and he is like, dude, he could play right away, okay? He's played in the MLB Breakthrough Series, which is like some of the best African-American young teens and high schools, man, that they really work with, and they put him through the travel circuit. And, dude, he is good. He is good, man. Dylan Minity. The other one is a dude named Luke Tucker. He was committed to Arkansas State. And he's 6'4" from Croom, Texas. He's probably going to play third base. So he's listed as a shortstop, but he's too big at the next level. He'll play probably third base. But, dude, Luke Tucker is like, dude, he's good, okay? So those are a couple of guys. Now, if there's one guy that can get to campus, I don't know he will, that is on a different level. There's a dude named Dominic Santarelli who was once committed to Louisville. Go look him up, Dominic Santarelli. Dude, he looks unlike anything you've ever seen in high school. He hits left-handed. He is a unit, man. Kills the ball, okay? People have said that he has the most power for anybody at his age that they've ever seen, okay? He's out of Wisconsin. So, man, I'm getting excited right now. Come on, somebody. All right, so I made a prediction home run thread regarding our returnees. I had Aaron Beatty 25, Cerna 22, Pearson. Do you think Harden's coming back, man? You got Harden as one home run. I don't know, man. I don't dislike Harden, but I think if I was Harden, dude, just with the outfield class we got coming back, I don't know that I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't ever like to say that, but like he needs to play. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, as far as like Aaron Beatty 25, that's a lot. I mean, I'd feel good with 20. Cerna could probably hit about that. If I was pitching Aaron Beatty, I'd throw every pitch a slider on the outside corner, dude. I'm convinced I'd strike him out. Not really, because I would miss and hang one and he'd hit it to Jupiter. But yeah, I like those, man. Braun 10, Pearson 13, pretty good. I know me and Stan, man, we love Ruckert, man. We love Ruckert. That dude's going to hit. Yeah, I get it about the guy who's 6'4". It's just not – it's not so much he's 6'4". Okay, so what Oppenheimer's saying is that DJ LeMahieu was 6'4" as a shortstop. But it's also how you move, and we're talking about a 6'4", like he's built like Jared Jones, man. Like that's, it's one thing to be a 6'4", tall, wiry guy, but so that's to clarify. That's what I mean. But you're not wrong just because you're 6. There's tall shortstops. I should have clarified. This guy's just really big, really muscular and strong. Are all those guys you just spoke about committed? Yes, everybody I'm talking about is an LSU recruit that I've been following for over a year. Yes, this class, we're the number 2 class in the nation behind Vanderbilt, but we have the most top 100. We got 11 top 100 players, according to Perfect Game. Samir Mohammed, dude. Oh, that's the 2027 class. If you go to YouTube right now, there's a day in the life with Samir Mohammed. I think he goes by Samir Foster too. Dude, his best pitch is a changeup, and he throws 97. He's got a changeup nobody can hit. I don't know about. That's one to dream on, man. I don't know how much we'll be cheering on Samir Muhammad at LSU. Enoch, Rucker needs to mature physically. Man, dude, he's kind of jacked, man. I mean, that dude is built. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess so. I mean, I need to mature physically myself, but I don't know, man. The dude's big. Let me look through these comments to see if I missed any. How many high school? Keep sending if you got anything else, man. My wife's out of town, so I'm chilling. How do you think? What? Very few. Who do you feel may enter the portal off this team? All right, I'll answer this because this is I didn't feel comfortable answering. I feel I can answer. Okay. Are you ready for this? Who do I feel like will enter the portal? I feel like Jaden Newt will enter the portal. I feel like DJ Primo will enter the portal. I don't want to say that. I think Harden will enter the portal. I think Claus might enter the portal. I don't know, though. I don't know about Jonah Ossie. He kind of redshirted this year, I think. He was hurt maybe, but like I don't know about him. I'm very interested to see. I know Jay loves him, but I'm interested to see what Maverick Grizzy does. He's a Northeast guy that, he's from the Northeast. So I just don't know, man. Like, I don't know. That was very eye-opening this year. And so, again, you like the guy and you probably believe in the guy when he's good. I mean, but like, Jay's going to have to believe, man, that like he can get over this fear of throwing strikes and hitting people. So, I think those are the ones that I just thought about off of this team right now. Yaman, I think Yaman is another guy. I mean, because you got two catchers and you're bringing in Mason Belding out of California, who's a left-handed hitting catcher. So, I don't know, man. Those are kind of guys I think could enter the portal. I don't think there's anybody that's going to, Trent Caraway. I don't think there's anybody who's going to shock us. Like, dude, I can't believe that guy left. He was going to play or he's going to pitch. I don't think you're going to see any of that at all. So I think I got, let's see what else we get. Let's see man, this is fun, man. I like answering y'all's questions. Not that I'm know much more than you guys, but all right. Let's see. We'll do a couple more. Let's see. We still got a good bit in here. Oh, no. Oppenheimer. Get Guidry off the team. All right. So here's my thing with Gavin Guidry. It's so weird because like I still have confidence at time in Gavin Guidry. It's so weird, man. But like, look, let's just be honest. He doesn't have like elite SEC professional stuff, but he's just a good college. He's a dog. Okay. Something happened that I don't like at the end of 2024, before he, got hurt in 25, he started throwing a change up a lot at the end of the year. If you think back to the Tennessee series, he gave up a slider for a home run to Christian Moore, and that put the game away. Everybody knew it was coming. Well, he started throwing a change up, a straight change, and he started getting everybody out. I was so excited about that this year, but we haven't seen it. It's back to just all sliders and an occasional fastball. But he's missing way too much over the plate, and it's just too predictable. And so I've got a straight up ant on my screen. So I don't want to see Guidry go, man. Like, I love Guidry. He hasn't had a good year, but, I don't know. I mean, that's another guy that, what's he want to do? I mean, like, if Jay's being honest, like, He's got to do what's best for Guidry. So does he tell him, hey, go start at one of these other schools, I don't know. I don't know, but I like Guidry. Wasn't Guidry drafted? I don't know if he was drafted. I know he was like the number 67 ranked player coming out of high school, and it was as a shortstop. But when he got to LSU, he wasn't hitting. He couldn't hit. And so that didn't last very long. Guidry was working off rust this year. Hey, I'll go with that, man. Yeah. It was his back. I'm with you on that, okay? But yeah, he has given up too many homers. Whatever happened to Ryler Smart? That's a good question, man. He was the big lefty who came from Tennessee, who had Tommy John, I think, 2 years ago. And at the end of last year, he was starting to toss. He transferred to LSU. He's not even on the roster. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. But I don't know what's the deal with Ryler Smart. Is Dominic Santorelli going to make it to campus? Dude, I don't think so. Now, the good thing is he doesn't have a position. Like he doesn't have a great arm. He's like a first baseman. And like, you don't get drafted as a power hitter and not be able to play a position, but he has so much power that I've seen him like as high as like pick 60. But I think, let me see. I think more realistic, Santorelli is like an average pick like 99, so like third round, which surprised me. That's really high for a guy like that. Any chance we land Jordan Griffin? Possibly, just because his size. But we'll see. There's a lot of time. Cooper Williams, possible portal. That's a big one. That's a big one, okay? Because I know Jay likes Cooper Williams, and there's no reason why Cooper Williams shouldn't be better than he is this year. No, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like he can't really throw. He can't command anything. So, and like he should be able to get left-handed hitters out, and he can't. His slider's more like a get-me-over pitch, and it doesn't get any. He's just got work to do, but I don't know. He's from Texas, man, so who knows? Is the pitching mostly Yeskie or the players? Dude, I think it's both. I think the attitude and the approach comes from Yeskie, but like the players have to execute, okay? They have to execute. So, but we have to stop pitching scared. We have to get into a mentality of fastballs, and we have to attack people. I would not be surprised if Cooper Williams doesn't go to A&M. So he actually was committed to A&M, Randy. He was committed to A&M. And then when Schlossnagel left to go to Texas, we got him like at the end of the summer. It was like a late pickup. But yeah, how do I feel about the pitch calling? I'm not so much going to second guess every pitch, but I've been very vocal about this, is that I think we do not throw enough fastballs. I mean, like you guys wouldn't even know, like Santi Garcia has an elite level fastball. But you never see it, Yeah, Rizzy went to the Cape last year. Dude, do you realize, Randy, Maverick Rizzy was one of the best pitchers on the Cape last year. Nobody could hit him. I watched every outing. His slider was unhittable. He threw the ball in on people's hands, and then this year, man, he hits everybody. But look, he's pitching scared. Like he's pitching scared. Another one we need to. Danny Lockenmeyer could make a jump next year and be a really good reliever for us. Cooper Moore is a starter next year. Possibly. I think he's more like a reliever, though, man. Like, if you want to get to where you want to get, you need guys out on that mound that look like Liam Peterson and Joey Volchko and Aiden King and Ryan McPherson and Tomas Valinkas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you need your starting rotation to look like. And like Marcos Paz is what it should look like. If that's one you be patient with, because he's got nastier stuff than all of them. Could Schmidt be the ace of the team next year? Yeah, possibly. How valuable is summer ball? It depends. If you throw a lot of pitches like this year, like summer ball is probably not necessary as a pitcher. For a hitter, I think it's really good. Yeah. I think summer ball is good, man, especially if you didn't play a lot this year or if you need to work on something, like if you can't hit, like Kate Beatty last year, dude, he went to the Cape, man. Kate Beatty had like 20 at bats and struck out like 13 times. I was like, dude, I was really wanting this guy to like really make a jump. He had a rough summer, man. But he's got it going on now. So like summer ball can be important, but for a pitcher, you just have to really, it's something that it's the base different for everybody. Do you think there will be a solidified ace in the portal this year? I don't know, man. This past year, there wasn't the same type of blockbuster guys like there was the year before. Like Logan Redeman, UCLA's ace, we were after him. Hate to break the bad news. But like he was probably the best transfer portal ace this year. I mean, Volchko, but like he wasn't great. Tomas Valinkis, the lefty from Mississippi State, is probably the best, but like he was following his coach. So he wasn't like a true guy that was in the portal. And I might be missing one or two. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I have my eye on a couple of guys. There's a guy named Smith Bailey who's a pitcher for Arizona, and Arizona stunk this year. He's a Team USA guy. He was pitched in Omaha as a freshman. He reminds me of like a Luke Holman. Like he's not overpowering, but like he was a Team USA guy. He was a very good pitcher, for 2 years, especially his sophomore year. I'd love to get Smith Bailey in here. I mean, I have no idea if he wants to transfer. I'm just like, I like that guy. Is Jordan still a coach on this team? Yes. Are you talking about Josh Jordan? If you're talking about Josh Jordan, man, I assume so. That's my guy, man. Like I talked to him on the phone. Josh Jordan's that's our main recruiter, man. Like he's a good recruiter. I know he looked at the Duke job last year, or they looked at him, but I mean, he gets paid pretty good, man. He gets paid pretty good at LSU, so I would assume so. I mean, I don't think they're going to get rid of him for getting a guy thrown out at home or anything like that. So, what else we got? I hope Devin Sheeran makes a big jump next year and can become. So, Chris, Devin Sheeran is going to go. He's going to get drafted. He's going to be one of the top relievers picked in the draft. So he's not going to be back at LSU, man. Devin Sheeran is going to go pro. But, it would be nice if he was back. Okay, yeah, you were talking about Josh Jordan. No, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I don't have any reason to believe he'd be gone. So, what else we got, guys? What else we got? Couple more questions. Anything on your mind? Anything you want to unload for the group? I actually don't think that this team, I think we definitely need some portal players, but like if the freshman class coming in and what we got coming back, as crazy as it sounds, I don't think you need like a makeover. I know a lot of y'all don't like this, but like Kason Evans is a capable man. That dude's good, man. He struggled this year, but like he's got good stuff. I think he needs to slow down. His windup I think he needs to slow down. But what do I know? What do you think of the fans who think Jay Johnson it's just emotional, man. I mean, do you know how hard it is to win 2 national championships in 3 years or 4 years? I mean, I think there's a lot of luck involved. Like, guys, look, I'm going to say something that might sound very controversial, but like last year's team was not like world beaters. We won a national championship. Chris Stanfield, Michael Braswell, Luis Hernandez. I love all those guys. Danny Dickinson was a good player, 6-rounder. It wasn't like Tennessee last year, who had like 6 first-rounders all over the field. I mean, and we won a national championship because of those starting pitchers. So my point is, like, Jay won a national championship with a team that, yes, it was good. It had good players, but like it was good college players, There's been coaches lose with a lot more than what we had last year. So, yeah, man, he's not overrated, but like I think there's a lot of luck. Things have to fall your way in order to win it all, and they did last year. But this is why, if you go back and you listen to the episodes from the very beginning, I always said there is nothing more important than a 1-2 punch. Nothing. Skeens Floyd, Jump Holman, Anderson Ianson. You can, if you got a 1-2, you can win, man. There's other ways you can win. There's other teams that can win. Tennessee won it in 2024 with Drew Beam was good, but that pitching staff wasn't very elite. But you got to have it. And like I said, going into the year, the 2 most important players on this team were, number 1, Case and Evans. And I said it. If he doesn't work out as our ace, we've got issues. The second one was Kate Arambidi, because you have to be good behind the plate. And if he made a jump offensive, I thought that was big. Now, that one didn't turn out to be such a big piece because Cerner was just as good. And like we lost in spite of those guys being good. But Case and Evans was a big deal. Last year, I hope somehow, some way we get to Louisville. Yeah, dude. I know who you're talking about. That's Tage Davis. Yeah, he likes it at Louisville, man. Nothing seemed to work out this year for Jay. He seems to have he has forgot to coach the basic stuff. 2 on, no outs, bunt guys over. I don't know, man. Maybe we didn't do a good job of bunting though when we did. Andrew, we heading to Hoover tomorrow. Been going for 13 years. Dude, that's awesome, man. I've been and I loved it. I can't go this year, man, but I will be watching. That is for sure, man. Give them all kinds of hell, man. LSU's going to turn up, and guess what, dude? Win 1 game at a time, So, do I think we can win the tournament? I struggle accepting that this team can't win right now. Like it's hard for me. Okay. Do I think we can win the tournament? I think we got a better chance of winning the tournament than I thought we had getting 13 wins. Because, like I said, if you win a couple games, you're going to be facing teams that aren't playing for what you're playing for. And they're not going to be using their best pitchers, throwing them all through the game. And like, you got to win against Oklahoma and beat Auburn. Auburn's tough, man. But like, you win those 2 games, dude, we got something going on. You win those 2 games, man, and I'll be back to being delusional again. Yeah, man, we did underachieve. We definitely underachieved, man. Defense wasn't good at times. When our pitching was good, our defense really failed us. But then our offense was terrible, like against Ole Miss, and against A&M. And then now our offense is really good, and our pitching's not good. It's mind-blowing. Like nothing works at the same time. So anyway, one more question. I'll do one more. I don't know if my kids have eaten yet. I might have to go feed them. I'm just kidding. I fed them. Don't call people on me. All right. I think we got it, man. I think we got it. Well, look, hey, I want to thank all y'all, man, so much for joining in. I really do appreciate you guys, man. I don't ever ask for followers or things like that. I do this because I enjoy it. And I would do it, man, if it was 2 people watching. And so I really do appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, man. I enjoy going back and forth with you guys. And thank y'all for always interacting. So that's going to do it for tonight. I would say, man, that our first YouTube live was a success because of you guys. By the way, in the coming weeks, do not miss this. I'm going to have Joe Doyle on, who is my go-to guy for the draft for all these high school players. And anybody who listened to it last year, was the best show we did. Okay. But he's going to give us, like, we'll go player by player, man, to help us get a good idea of what we can expect from this freshman class. So you guys have a great night. All right. And we will talk to you next time.